It seems like ages ago, but it was only last Thursday that it was confirmed that Hamilton will leave Mercedes to join rival Ferrari at the start of the 2025 season. And this will have major, and I mean major, implications for the grid. Not only will we see big driver switches, but also engineers and masterminds behind the cars are switching teams. Who is Hamilton taking with him? Are Mercedes doomed? And who will take Hamilton's place? We'll fill you in on what has happened since the shocking move was announced. We start off with Mercedes Formula One boss Toto Wolff confirming that the team is planning to discuss Lewis Hamilton's race engineer Peter Bonington's potential departure to Ferrari. This could be huge for Hamilton. Top drivers who move teams are frequently joined by employees from their prior employers, either because they actively want trusted colleagues to join them or because the person's involved like working with the driver. The new crew is typically open to the concept of bringing old individuals along to assist the driver adjust to an unfamiliar environment. In 1996, Michael Schumacher was followed from Benetton to Ferrari by technical director Ross Brawn, head designer Rory Byrne, and other senior Enston team members, all of whom were considered by then Maranello CEO Jean Todt as crucial components of a winning combination. In other prominent cases, race engineer Jock Clear accompanied Jacques Villeneuve from Williams to Bar in 2000, and Andrea Stella joined Fernando Alonso's transfer from Ferrari to McLaren in 2015, continuing on when the Spaniard left to eventually become team principal. Hamilton has a unique bond with Bono, who has been with the Brackley team since the early Honda period, having begun his career at Jordan. While it is unclear whether Bonington is willing to go to Italy, Wolff stated that he expects the matter to come up. "I think this is a discussion which everyone needs to have in the months to come," Wolff said. "And as much as I've spoken with Bono already, when I told him about Hamilton's move, he said, 'Is it April the 1st? That's something which we will discuss in the future.'" One difficulty is that Bonington would have to stay with Mercedes until the season's last race in Abu Dhabi on December 8th before joining Ferrari at the start of 2025, making for a very tight transfer in terms of gardening leave. Aside from team principal Fred Vasseur, Hamilton will see few familiar faces at Ferrari, though former Mercedes performance director Loic Serra was one of Vasseur's first important appointments and will formally join the team next year. Hamilton collaborated with Clear during his first 2 years at Mercedes, although the latter's current concentration is on Ferrari's young driver program. If Bonington is eligible to take over the race engineer position at Ferrari, the team will have to rearrange and find a new function for Riccardo Adami, who is currently working with Carlos Sainz. But that isn't the only Mercedes engineer up for leaving, as Hamilton is expected to be accompanied by other Mercedes defectors when he lands at Ferrari, with Riccardo Mosconi, head of trackside performance, being mentioned as well. The Mercedes Dream Team, which won 8 Constructors' Championships and 7 Drivers' Championships between 2014 and 2021, has steadily disintegrated in recent years, with some key characters leaving. Design genius Aldo Costa, Mercedes engine manager Andy Cowell, and Chief Technical Officer Mike Elliott are all examples, with Serra and Hamilton following suit. According to reports, Mercedes would be cautious to prepare for other departures, with the reports saying that the departures of Serra and Hamilton will lead some Mercedes colleagues to follow suit. Eyes are focused on Mosconi in particular, suggesting that Mercedes' Director of Trackside Performance could potentially take on the same post at Ferrari and manage in-season development with an eye on 2026, when new chassis and power unit rules would be implemented in Formula One. Mosconi, who was born in Imola, close down the road from Maranello, is touted as the turning point that might open the floodgates from Mercedes to Ferrari. On the driver front, Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff is not worried about finding a replacement for their 7-time world champion. A move for Red Bull's starman and current dominant force in F1. Max Verstappen is not out of the question, as the Silver Arrows look to rebound with the best driver pairing possible. Asked if Verstappen could be on his way to Mercedes, Wolff replied, "We will always try to have the best possible combination in our car and seek out these discussions. You can see how quickly the situation can change. At the same time, we respect contracts that exist." Drivers always want to be in the fastest car. It's up to us to demonstrate that we can build the fastest car, not just in the short and medium term, but also in the long term. This will then lead to opportunities. The ball is in our court. And as you can imagine, one driver after another is already being connected to Lewis Hamilton's position, which will become available after next season. Carlos Sainz is identified as a direct replacement. Fernando Alonso, whose contract with Aston Martin ends after next season, is also in the mix. Daniel Ricciardo is also rumoured to be in the mix. However, Helmut Marko has previously intimated that the Australian has a multi-year deal with Red Bull. During Toto Wolff's press conference on Hamilton's impending exit, another name surfaced: Sebastian Vettel. The German, 36, withdrew from Formula One following the 2022 season. Wolff revealed that he talks to Vettel on a regular basis since they are buddies. Even the day before Hamilton's statement, the Austrian and German were in contact, but there was no mention of a return to Mercedes. Vettel has previously been linked with a comeback to Formula One, but he has always rejected any desire. Perhaps the thought of a competitive Mercedes automobile would appeal to him. In any event, German Sport 1 reports that Vettel is considering a return to Formula One, where he would be able to follow in the footsteps of his idol, Michael Schumacher. The seven-time champion also left Formula One to return after a sabbatical with Mercedes. Mercedes was not yet the successful squad that it is now. Schumacher only achieved one podium result during his 2 years at Mercedes. According to Sport 1, the Mercedes situation is an option for Vettel, who may be able to add to his existing 53 victories with the German team. And as it is one of the most commonly asked topics right now is who will be Hamilton's successor. There is of course one other name in the mix, which according to Ralf Schumacher should be a no-brainer. There won't be that many candidates. It is a question of what Toto Wolff wants to do. George Russell, if he makes no mistakes, is certainly capable of following in Lewis's footsteps and leading the team, said Schumacher. He continued, "The question now is whether they go for experience or new, young people. Mick would certainly be one of the best options in the young field, but Carlos Sainz is of course also in the market, although I think he is more likely to end up at Audi. I think Mick's chances are good and I think he deserves the chance." Schumacher feels that his nephew Mick Schumacher would be the best driver to collaborate with Russell on the team's future. "I have every confidence in that. Now, Toto Wolff has yet to share the same opinion, but so far I have only heard positive things about Mick from him," Schumacher said. But before we all even knew that Hamilton would leave for Ferrari, Toto was already scouting for new talent. This also reveals to us why Hamilton was only offered a short contract, as Toto was looking to sign another young prospect but failed to do so. As Toto Wolff was keen in signing either Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc for Mercedes before they signed new contracts. In January, Norris and Leclerc signed new long-term contracts with McLaren and Ferrari, respectively, the durations of which were not disclosed. Both drivers had been suggested as prospective Mercedes signings for when Lewis Hamilton would leave the team. However, it was widely assumed that he would retire and not move to Ferrari in 2025, where he would accompany Leclerc. But with Norris and Leclerc locked in, Wolff has said that Mercedes may now be tempted to do something bold in picking Hamilton's replacement, with 17-year-old prodigy Andrea Kimi Antonelli expected to be the next big thing following a successful junior career. When questioned about Antonelli, Wolff was anxious to protect him, especially because he is yet to make his F2 debut, but did indicate Mercedes might have gone for Norris or Leclerc if Hamilton's leaving had been publicised somewhat sooner. "When we decided with Lewis to go for a very short-term contract, we knew what we were doing," Wolff said. "It was to leave him with options open, and at the same time there's an exciting situation at the end of 2024 with some drivers becoming available and others signed new deals just a few weeks ago, so these ones would have been opportunities. With the timing, if it had been 6 weeks earlier, there would have been more opportunities, but it is what it is." But in 2025 and beyond, the driver market is very interesting, and we need to look to the future, and who is it that we can partner with George? What is the best combination? And I think in terms of drivers that could join, there is a variety of options, and at this stage I wouldn't want to commit to when we are going to do it, as I want to take my time. What are your thoughts? Will Mercedes lose more people after losing Hamilton? Will this cost the team in the long run? And who will they choose as their next star? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.